Warm-ups. Let's talk about warm-ups. When I first started drawing digitally, I was looking on like certain blogs, certain art blogs, and they were just saying things like, "Oh, here's a warm-up that I did before I did this actual piece." And I just thought, "What the hell are warm-ups? How can that, like this beautiful, beautiful picture, just be a warm-up?" And I honestly didn't know what a warm-up was, because every time I just tried to start like doing a warm-up before I did an actual drawing, my warm-up would become my actual drawing. But what I realized over a period of time is that warm-ups actually help practice your fingers as well as your eyes for drawing. It really helps you put out really good consistency. So for example, when I first started drawing, my first drawing in my sketchbook would look really, really good, like so much time put into it. And then I would try to draw a second figure like with that, and it would just kind of flub out. It would look not as polished, and it would look really like just really not well thought out. So warm-ups will actually really help you ease into a drawing at a pace. So for example, like if you're gonna do a lot of line work, drawing minimalist figures, so for example trying to draw like a pose, oh god, that was really bad, trying to draw a pose with as little lines as possible, focusing a lot on the line quality within the time limit. So for example, doing a 1 minute figure sketch, not doing feathery little sketches like sketch brush strokes, but instead using like a very S-curved line. So I'm just gonna go over like these other warm-ups that I was thinking about. This video that is on the screen right now, I was doing a color study of one of my favorite artists, but I'll get into that later. But before that I did a color study warm-up. I took a palette that someone else made and then drew a little picture. So like a pre-made palette. Pre-made palettes are really good for figuring out values, and so if you draw a lineless picture and complete them with shading and a light source, it'll really help you get an eye for color and for values. It's really good for beginners like me, because I'm not really good at color study, and I had to watch like an entire video when I was drawing this about like how to make values work, and why like certain yellows didn't look this certain kind of yellow if you were trying to draw over its grayscale. What you can also do when you're doing a color study is make a randomized palette. So you can go online and find like random colors. It's good for training your eye to find the values of your random colors. So for example, what color can I use? Which of these colors can I use for a shadow? Which of these colors can I use as a highlight? Which color can I use to make as a base color? And it'll really push you to use certain colors that you wouldn't use with others. Or you can make your own palette. So this is like the most beneficial of the color study warm-ups that I know. It's very beneficial, but it's also very much a hit and miss. But it's really good for finding your own colors and values and pushing the limit of what you know and what you can draw. I'm saying all this about these warm-ups, but of course these pictures can be really small. Like don't put so much time into your warm-ups, like meticulously picking your colors. Just try and randomize or find like a random palette online and try to make do with that. Character design warm-ups. Things that are good for character design warm-ups that I've tried, it's basically like drawing your own characters using an art style that's popular. Like you see a lot of art memes such as like draw your character at like The Simpsons or Gravity Falls, and then you can just try out different characters in that. For what you can also do is that you can pick a certain custom style. So for example, like sometimes when I do random character design, like a character design warm-up, I like to pick like this kind of anime / Tim Burton style with like a lot of high cheekbones and a lot of angles and a lot of like shadows. And then I try to take 2 characters that would probably look totally different and draw them with the same style. So for example, like maybe you can draw a fat character or a very skinny character side by side using that same style, so trying to still make them look like they were in the same show, but they're very different. So for example, you can draw the fat kid with like circles but somehow still like incorporate angles into it and still try to portray that this is a very plump character. Or another thing you could do was like a stereotypical nerd versus like a stereotypical jock. So you can still use the same kind of angles and shadows shadows that Tim Burton utilizes, and then just try and fit that in with what you think a stereotypical nerd and a stereotypical jock would look like in that style. Another warm-up I found were like creativity warm-ups. They're really cute. I found them online. Like some of them, like what I've just been describing were warm-ups for technical things, and since I'm working on a lot on technical things right now, but there are some creativity warm-ups. So for example, if you're trying to do a pitch, or if you're trying to like just get a storyboarded, some things I found online were like make a candy based on yourself, you as an alien, which is really cute. Or you can try and mash 2 things together. This is actually inspired by one of my friends, just like taking 2 things you see in real life and just mashing them together into something you would probably see in real life. So for example, on my desk I have a succulent and a pen, so I could like draw a pen with a succulent planter on top, or a terranium pen with like, it's like a terranium that writes and then there's succulents in it. My favorite warm-ups actually are drawing still lives. So for example, I look online and find pictures of architecture and shoes and hands, and then I'll just draw them because I'm working a lot on my technical things, as I've mentioned. My favorite thing to do is I like to sit down and watch figure drawing videos, and then try and draw the people in since right now I'm trying to work on a comic and I want to draw like very fluid and dynamic poses to portray like what a character is feeling or like trying to convey. Other people's warm-ups that they've talked about, Holly Brown actually talks about this one warm-up where you pick like a figure. She used the example of a light bulb, and you try to draw that light bulb without lifting your pen off the paper. So and what she says is that it really makes you focus on your brush strokes, and it really trains your eye, which I find really helpful. I'm really bad at that, so I like to stick to like my focus on your line quality kind of things. Or you can see like the things on Tumblr where like people will draw like these really cute chibis, and they're like not used to digital painting, so they'll just draw like a little chibi thing and make it out to be a drawing. Oh my gosh, I was on fire right there until I just pooped out. But yeah, that's really all I wanted to say on warm-ups. I guess I'll explain more about what I'm drawing on screen. I'm drawing one of the comic characters one of my friends and I are working on. Their name is Wolf. Essentially, like in the corner of the screen, I have a picture of someone named Zytace that I actually used to follow like religiously when I first started digital painting. Their name was actually like Cacti before they changed the name, but man, I loved their coloring style so much that I just wanted to try and study it, and man, I just couldn't get it down. Like, you can see how much I struggle. Like, if it was slowed down, you could see how much I struggled in that first one, because their colors are so vibrant, but like their base colors are really flat, so it kind of hurts to like to try and copy that. But oh man, let's see what else can I talk about. There were some questions that there's a question in my last video. Thank you, Emily. But that I was going to try and answer in this video, but I'm making this video in a hurry since I was on vacation last week. That's why I didn't post a video. But anyways, it looks like I'm finishing up on this video. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week.